it the Reiki work? What do you feel like kind of opened that door? Or was it just being at a certain point where this, was bound to happen?
Well, I think the music was kind of cracking the door open, but Reiki blew it open, you know what I mean? So to me, Reiki enhances whatever you've got. If you've got, if you learn Reiki, it'll enhance whatever is there naturally. And I gotta tell you something, Darius, when you were
Yes.
grounding everyone,
Mm.
I had my hands together and they got so hot. And whenever my hands get hot, I was like, there's a lot of healers listening to this call right now. I could feel the heat. I could feel all these healers in the audience, including you. It was
Mm.
awesome. It was so strong.
Wow. We're going to get into some questions. I think probably the first thing people may start to wonder is like, I'm a healer. Why am I going through so many challenges? Why is so
Uh,
much happening? I mean, that's going to be, I think,
yeah.
exactly what they're thinking. And we will get to that. When you work with people, what is like the way that the message comes into you, the knowing, the answer? How does that start to show up?
A lot of times it'll start with sound. That's usually my first, like the gateway is sound, or I'll see images. um, from angels and then loved ones. They come in different layers and spirit guides. So I've learned to know how they feel when they come in or how they sound. They all have a different frequency. So I can tell, oh, that's an angel talking, that's a human talking, that's a spirit guide. So they feel different. And I'll start hearing what they want to say, or sometimes I'll start seeing something, but usually it starts with sound.
And we're going to be diving into supernatural energy today and supernatural clearing and mediumship. What to you is supernatural energy?
Angels have this ability that I don't even know how they do it, but they are able to pinpoint in all directions of time. So, not just in this lifetime, where the soul may have a block. It's almost looks like grids of every lifetime. And I'll see them go into someone's grid of their soul, of all their layers, and find, okay, there's one gray spot right here. And then the gray spot has a story. And they remove it. They can clear it. How they do it, I don't know, but I see it all the time.
Well, it seems like when we deal with energy, super high frequency tends to just kind of wipe or in some
Yeah.
way just bring that lower frequency or that gray spot into resonance with the higher frequency. It has to sort of like entrain. This is very interesting. So they see, and do you see the grid yourself, or do you just become aware that they're seeing a gray spot? Do you actually see kind of or feel what they're seeing? Tell me about that.
I, as far as I know, what I see, it looks like grids.
Mm.
It looks like grids, like laying, almost like an Alex Gray painting of the soul, where you see all these layers of grids. And then there'll be one point where there's, oh, that's red or that's gray. And the angels will just fill it with light and it'll dissolve.
Wow. Okay, so now I'm googling Alex Gray pictures because I was like, "Oh, what is that?" But I'm gonna tell y'all it's pretty amazing. I'll show y'all what some of these actually look like here. Yeah, this is really interesting. So when they see this and they share it with you, do they ever give you insight into what caused that gray area? What caused that area where something is not in full resonance?
Yes. So what happens is I'll see the area that's blocked, and usually they'll just clear it or get rid of it right away.
Mm.
And then I'll know the story, like the story behind it. And a lot of times it's from this lifetime, from childhood, or it could even be from another lifetime. But I'll start seeing, the story behind it. But angels usually, when you ask for clearing, they clear really fast. They move light into the area that's blocked or dark.
Amazing. I'm just flipping through some Alex Gray paintings, and I've seen these, but never really looked at them. And yeah, I mean, this is literally like everything from the bones, the internals, the
Mhm.
nerves. It's definitely takes some getting used to. Have y'all seen this before? You've seen these pictures? This is amazing. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that they would see us as these holistic beings, not just the skin, but everything. And then, like you look in this
Yeah.
picture, the cosmic connection, right? The
Mhm.
deeper connection. Oh my gosh. Interesting. All right. Yeah. Let me know what y'all think about this. So, um, they see this. Do they don't have any judgment around it, but they have discernment that this is not necessarily something that would be in your highest um set of possibilities, right? There's something that they could help you resolve.
Angels move dark energy wherever it is. They need permission from
Okay.
us. They need permission first. They they have to go with free will. They
Yes.
want to help, but when we give permission, like get this, help me with this, help me move this energy, they can move it so fast. They just need the permission.
Wow. And the question I always have is why do they want to help? What is the role of this supernatural realm in our human life and also our journey of learning, discerning, and maybe going through challenges to become more aware or better?
What I understand, Darius, is they resonate with such a high frequency. They want us to feel as good as they do. They feel joy. They feel, and if we want help feeling like that, they'll help. They can move energy. They can help, move things into our life with permission to help us feel joy, to help us feel that frequency.
Very good. Let me see what people are saying. What is your biggest question? Alex Gray pictures have a very uplifting energy. Yeah, I mean, those are just amazing. And, I get the sense that the angels see the whole part of us, but they also see the things maybe, like you say, they don't belong, like the gray matter. One of the things we've been talking about this supernatural energy is clearing. And they do clear energy. How do they do it? And what are some specifics about that that maybe people need to know?
Well, someone had mentioned their house in the texting or the chat
Okay.
about clearing their house or raising the vibration of your house.
Yes, Lisa.
Angels will look at the house the same way they looked at the body in those pictures, just like it's an X-ray of, where is the energy stuck? They'll see right through your plumbing. They'll see right through the underneath of the house, the ground.
Yeah.
If it's in the dirt, they'll literally look at your home and your land like it's a grid and move out what is dark, what's not, what looks like a red spot, what looks like a gray spot in this energy, and push it all to like this clear light and then make it clear. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Now, how do they do that? What is the mechanism that you've seen? Is it just a blast of supernatural energy or how does it work?
That's the best way I can, blast it's a great word. I mean, that's
Okay.
literally the best way I can say it. It takes seconds. It's so fast. It's fast.
Wow. The other thing I know that you've worked on, and I know we've got some questions today, is things in the body maybe that are stuck or blocked or resistant. Tell me about that. What have you seen with the bodies and what the angels will show you?
So when I see someone, usually someone will be in some kind of distress and they'll request clearing. So, I don't feel right. I feel off. That's a sign that energy might be off, that there might be something in your aura, or there could be a chakra going in reverse, which I see that a lot. If a chakra is in reverse, the circulation would be down in that organ area. let's say for example, the heart chakra is going the wrong way. And the angels can correct the flow. They can reverse, put it back in the right direction. And then circulation opens up and the person can breathe. The relief is a breath, a deep breath, a sigh, sometimes a yawn. That's the release. It releases pressure, or, when energy creates pressure, energy creates anxiety if it's blocked or going the wrong way.
Yeah, that makes a lot
It's
of
a way to
sense.
release it.
Yeah, it's a way to release it. I love that. You've had
Yeah.
stories of all sorts of things happen. I want to get more into the supernatural energy aspect of this, because I think what we're seeing on the earth right now are a lot of changes, a lot of people kind of rising, but then some people falling through the cracks. And I don't know if in some way we're becoming more open, but not realizing it. And we need that supernatural reawakening, that renewal of trust that we're not just these isolate beings. We're not just these, singled out, lonely vessels adrift on the earth. What do you see happening on the planet and happening with people all over the world?
Well, you talked about this in the intro about light. Light is getting stronger. I mean, look at all the light workers that just woke up, during COVID. A lot of people just woke up. When there's light, dark gets bigger. So, guys, what's going on
Mm,
is all this light is causing dark to get upset. The light doesn't, it doesn't want the light to be revealed. So it's going to try harder to suppress it. So who's going to get attacked the most? Healers.
yeah.
Who's going to get attacked the most? Healers will get attacked in a way. This is one way, in the most personal way, like maybe in your love life, maybe in your finance, in a place that'll just poke you, you know, so you don't want to help anymore. And to me, that's a sign you have to do it even more. If that stuff's going on and you're a healer, push through it. You got to work even harder. You got to work even harder. That's what I see.
Yeah, or you absolutely want to lean more into the unseen world, the supernatural, help call on those angels, call on that higher energy to pull you through. And I went through a divorce about 14 years ago, and I remember the night that I found out that I was pretty much like going to leave. Debbie, I drove to Austin, and when I got here, I went straight to Fifth Street, which is like a hangout. It was like in the middle of the, Friday night, and I met three men. And I swear to this day, part of me feels like they were supernatural beings because the connections we had were like connections of a lifetime. And I can't say I didn't go back there to look for them again, but I feel like they were supernatural beings that like popped into my reality. And each of them gave me wisdom that moved me forward. So I always say, like, when you go through the hardest times,
Mhm.
dig into that supernatural field because it exists and it will support you. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. And I love your story. Your story is huge. It's very inspiring. And it's like you just followed what was unknown and walked in faith. And that's
Yeah.
what you have to do. You have to do that right now.
Yeah, yeah, it was wild. One of the guys was like a 6'4" man, and he was blind, and he was wearing the most beautiful leather suit, and he literally was like dressed to the nines, but he couldn't see, and he was up against a curb with his, walker, like with his stick, and trying to like figure out where the curb was. And I went up to him, I was like, "Hey, brother, let me help you," and I wrapped my arm in his, and I'm 5'11", but he was like a good bit taller than me, and I just started walking with him, and I looked in his eyes, and it's like I could see like just like the universe. It was the weirdest thing. He was blind though, but he had like this seeing, and I was like, well, can I ask you a question? How do you? I was like, I'm going through this challenge. How do you navigate life? Like, like you're all dressed up, you look amazing, but I realize it looks like you can't see. And he's like, no, I can see everything. And he goes, I just see things differently. And I was like, oh man, like how do you get that in 2 seconds of conversation? And then I was like, well, how do you move forward every day? He goes, just put one foot in front of the other. And I was like, oh, and
Wow.
it's so they are these doorways, these portals. And that's why I love you, because I feel you bring that in for people. So let us know what your biggest questions are wherever you're at. Debbie, the other thing I've noticed with you is you also bring in mediumship. And that may be a little different. What is mediumship as compared to some of the other things that you do?
So the same way the angels will come in and say things to help someone or a spirit guide, I will get a loved one from heaven telling a lot of times their opinion. Like they don't, they need to quit that job or, don't go to that doctor anymore. It's fascinating what they bring through. And I may not even know what they're talking about, but the message is clear. Or they'll even play a song. I've heard Elvis songs. I'm like, who liked Elvis? So loved ones in heaven, or any information I would get about the future or about the psychic information, is from mediumship. It's from loved ones in heaven who are seeing the big picture for you.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And we are going to get to some questions. Debbie, what are some signs maybe that someone is mired down in the 3D so much they can't get out of their way versus using supernatural energy, the supernatural help that we all have access? What does it look like when you kind of see somebody going around and around in circles? You know they're a little bit stuck.
Can't get out, can't get out. So couple things.
Okay.
Fear is louder than angels. You got to remember the voice of fear in your head is full blast. And angels are kind of quiet underneath the fear. So you have to somehow figure out, how can I stop my mind from being loud? Whatever that is, whether it's music, a walk, a bath, something. What makes your mind get a little bit quiet? And if you can get under that, that's when you can hear angels. But what I notice is, if someone is very critical of themselves in their head, or they're around someone very critical, angels, that's not angels. Just
Okay.
remember,
Okay.
you're hearing a lot of criticism here or out here. You are
Okay.
not dealing with angels. So get out of there. That's not where to go. Get yourself out.
Get yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they trying to, this is a little bit, I wouldn't say dark, but I felt like that at some level, some of these darker beings were trying to capture souls or siphon souls or somehow not allow us to ascend. Is there anything they say about that, the angels, or anything you've kind of inferred from the things you've seen, some of these agendas?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I've seen soul possession. I've seen
Oh,
someone go from one personality to another. And, it's not that they're on drugs or anything, it's just a drastic change. So that, and going from very normal to very negative. The sign that it's dark energy is there's such negativity. There's a
yes.
negativity in their voice, in their demeanor, or rage. Dilated pupils, that's a sign. Not being able to hold like a smile where it almost feels fake. Empaths would read that. Empaths, you guys can read and feel fake, or, something that's not genuine. Trust that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting. You do work on clearing and you do supernatural clearing. Tell me about that. What is a supernatural clearing? And what could it actually entail in terms of clearing things?
So, first thing, most people want to clear themselves or their family, and then next the home. But I've also had people talk about clearing their finances, the physical body and health, not just the spirit, but health. So, and animals, you can also clear your animals if they're not well. Sometimes they need clearing also.
So in a supernatural clearing, you ask the angels to go in and basically look for those dark spots, look for those areas. Yeah. And wow, what are some of the things you've seen happen? I know you've got 25 years of stories, but I don't know if they're any of your favorites. It's pretty amazing.
Oh my gosh. Um, I've seen, I can't even explain. It's like a movie. Nobody's the same. Every single clearing is like a different movie. It's like an action movie. I can't, it's never really duplicated, but, um, I've seen animals feel better with clearing. I've seen people feel better. It's watching them relax, like, moving the energy so they can get better circulation, vagus nerve release, and the body can start doing what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I want to share a story from BB.
Yeah.
And again, I want to say we're not, we're not doctors. We're not, doing that, but we're allowing spiritual energy, supernatural spiritual energy to realign our physical reality, right? Anything in a higher vibration state is going to perform more optimally than in a low vibration state, generally, especially when we're talking about consciousness. And BB worked with you, and she said, Debbie is literally heaven sent. She helped me when it came to my work, helped me navigate how I should go about opening a business 1 year later, and it's thriving. My health was another issue. She helped me turn around all of these challenges. So today I am so healthy, no anxiety, stronger than ever. And even lastly, she mentioned me meeting someone in May 2024, and I have literally met the most amazing, genuine person. Wow. It's amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I don't know if you remember BB, but I guess she only put the two initials. So this is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's all connected. Usually when you clear one thing, it opens up, like it opens
Yes.
up her whole life. Clearing energy it opens up everything, money, career, and love.
Yes.
It's all
Yes.
connected.
Yeah, it is connected. And I want to help some folks with some support today. We're going to dive in a little bit. So let me go to some questions. Anything you want people to keep in mind before we start taking some callers today?
Just be open.
Okay. And I do want to be sensitive. I talked about this yesterday with Ed. There are a lot of light workers that are being attacked.
Yeah.
Even though we do think things are getting lighter, there's just a lot going on. And Debbie, I shared yesterday with Ed, I had a guest that was going to come on our show. She got booked, she finished everything. And it was kind of like a big opportunity, a debut for her work. And she passed away, like literally right when she finished submitting everything.
Oh
So
my gosh.
there's
Wow.
just so many things happening with light workers not taking care of themselves sometimes, in the sense of the
Yeah.
energy, and there's so much going on where they get attacked. So I just want to say, all of y'all are light workers. We want to help you. You're here to pursue the light, and we want to support you. So we want to see you just thriving and moving forward. So let me get to some questions here. We got a bunch of folks. I'm going to start, I feel like, all the way with Rochelle. Rochelle, you are calling in. Rochelle, how can we help you? It's
Hi.
ROCHELLE. Hey, how's it going? That was
Oh,
fast, eh?
oh, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
I
Let's
sure
see.
can. Yeah.
Oh, it's still just not doing the video for some reason.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
I
I
am
can do that
trying
for you.
here.
No worries. I can do it.
Um, Quick question for you.
Okay, there you go.
Start my video. There we go. Sorry. It's
Cool.
okay.
Hi.
Um, hi. It's so good to see you. Thank you. I've noticed that I just got diagnosed there's or showing that A1C is being elevated, and I'm healthy, I work out, I do all that, and I thought, is it happening to a lot of people right now where with new DNA or new things coming in, are you noticing that with A1C being elevated?
I haven't noticed specifically A1C or heard about
Okay.
that, but I have noticed increased sensitivity and heard about like more sensitive. So our receptors are way more sensitive than they were. Starting in 2018, the body
Okay.
changed.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
A1C is that elevated blood sugar.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And pre-diabetic, and I thought that just it doesn't resonate with me.
Well,
It doesn't
yeah.
feel, but
Yeah.
I just, I didn't know, and I didn't know. I've been really trying to go into multi-dimensional, like parallelize all that. I thought, is there something there that I want trying to tap in? So I don't know if there's something coming through with that.
There might be more of a sensitivity to sugar. So
Yeah.
that could be coming up where your diet, I know a lot of people, the food has changed. My food has changed, like what I'm okay with and what I'm not. I've noticed some changes. So just maybe pay attention to what's working with your body and what's not. If you are HSP, highly sensitive, you're going to be more sensitive now to food that maybe you weren't.
Okay.
That
Okay.
I've noticed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I was just
I'm
curious.
seeing this a lot with people in toxin removal too, is that we're not able to release toxins. So the cells are kind of like so bound and the stress is kind of accumulated. So
Yeah.
that also contributes a lot, especially this is the interesting thing. Relatively thin people, like you look very thin, like in good shape.
Yeah.
They tend to have higher like blood sugar sometimes than somebody else that you may think, oh, they would be a candidate. It's a lot due with stress. So there may be
Okay.
something where the angels can look into that and deal with the stress. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
And I do.
wound
I
up.
have
Yeah.
been trying to release a lot. So
Ah.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully that's done.
Do
Okay.
they
Thank
say
you.
anything about her stress or how she's? Can you look in, Debbie, as to like how she's
Mhm.
just processing and then detoxifying and releasing? And I'm going to say that I'm not an expert on. I know this because my wife Sherry has been dealing with this, and she's like you, very slight, and she's wound up at 100 miles an hour all the time.
Mhm.
And she's
Yeah.
just very like type A.
Yes.
And this is exactly, and she's about 105 pounds. So it's like there's no doesn't overeat.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, more sensitive to stress, more sensitive to the adrenals are going to be more sensitive now, more, sensitive to cortisol going up. The body's going to react, I think, more now than ever. We have to, and Darius, you mentioned this, we have to take better care of our bodies now than we used to, believe it or not. We do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Are they
Thank you.
showing you
Yeah.
anything about her or any messages for her, Debbie?
I do see the inflammation in the third chakra. The
Okay.
entire third chakra looks inflamed, even the stomach wall.
Oh,
Okay.
and that was the
Okay.
thing that Sherry also was dealing with was inflammation, and she's very thin, but it's from the stress. So this sounds exactly very similar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's red in the stomach area, so there is inflammation. Maybe some kind of anti-inflammatory, quercetin, turmeric.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense. The stress and I do feel like I'm holding more there. So, okay.
Stomach. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle. Bless
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is very interesting too, because I think it has to do potentially with taking on a lot of energy. And the more intuitive you get, the more you are affected and processing other people's energy. So you build up all of that, residue of what's going on in people, what's going on in situations. It's a lot. Let me go to Leah. And Leah, you are live with Debbie Johnson. Do you have a question today? Leah, can you unmute? Leah. See if Leah can. Going once, going twice. If not, we'll go to Helen. Oh, there's Leah. How are you doing today, Leah?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Hi, Leah.
Hi. So I guess my question's also about health. Um, I don't know. I've got some health issues that I'm just not figuring out, and I guess instead of asking what's wrong with me and how do I fix it, are all the things I'm doing, like, am I on the right path?
Leah, I keep seeing these two lines down your body.